Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and today I'll be talking about a Melta rifle build for the Vanguard class for both Operations and Siege mode in patch 8.0 Space Marine 2. Now, the Melta rifle and Vanguard is like the most popular combo ever in this game, and that's why I'm going to make a build around it today. And the best variant of the Melta rifle is by far the ammo reserve and magazine capacity version for the Vanguard, mainly because the Vanguard really does struggle with ammo economy compared to pretty much every class except for Assault, because Assault is once again in last place. Go figure, his ammo economy sucks, and so does ours, but it's a little bit better with the perk Decisive Reload. Performing a finisher on a Majoris level or higher enemy with this weapon restores ammo by 1. This perk is incredible. It will come out to like hundreds of ammo restored in a Siege mode game, and there is no cooldown. You get back a drip feed of ammo constantly. Awesome stuff, super good. Unfortunately, we can't take this with magazine restoration, but this one is better, so, you know, really a non-choice here. Next perk is Rapid Health. When your health is below 30%, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores health by 10%. This is a great perk. It just sucks on this class because we have like the best team perk for healing ever that we'll get into later, and really this one just totally gets circumvented. So next perk we take is pretty god tier, Trick Shot. Killing 5 enemies with 1 shot restores 1 armor segment. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This is like one of the only perks in the entire game for a weapon that gives you armor back, and armor back on like a drip feed for 30-second cooldown even is super good. Free armor is free armor, and any amount of armor in Space Marine 2 will reduce the next incoming melee attack to 0 damage, even from bosses, so it's amazing for that. It also helps us proc perks like Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds, so if you have like a steady influx of armor, it is very easy to keep proccing this over and over and over and keep your damage reduction very high. So Trick Shot is very valuable and also works in conjunction with our prestige perks we'll get into later. Next perk here is pretty boring. Great Might. Damage increases by 10% against Terminus. Big whoop. Our Terminus damage on the Melta rifle sucks. Really, this class's boss killing sucks in general, but this gun in particular sucks at it. Bolt Carbine is much better for that, but overall, Melta rifle is mostly like a horde control weapon for like Majoris and Extremis. Next perk we take is Divine Might. Damage increases by 10%, pretty self-explanatory, free damage. Same thing here, magazine size increase, free magazine size. And the next perk is First Shot. The first shot after a reload, it deals 10% more damage. This perk is just a worse version of this perk, but we have to take it to get into our Retaliation perk. After a perfectly timed dodge, you deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. This is really good. 10 seconds is a very long time, and perfect dodges are very easy to pull off on all the classes in this game, so this is just bonus damage as far as I'm concerned. Same thing here, just free fire rate. If you want to go down this tree, you can. I just don't think Elusive Fire is as good as Retaliation, but if you want to, you can definitely do that. Now, as far as the secondary goes, since we don't have a headshot multiplier primary with something like Bolt Carbine, I do take the heavy bolt pistol here with the magazine version because, once again, same as before, ammo economy is terrible for us, so more ammo is always good, and this gun is an incredible secondary. I set it up this way for Terminus damage because, once again, we do lack Terminus damage, and unfortunately, the heavy bolt pistol is our best option for killing a Neurothrope on like this entire class right now, at least with this setup, and that kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is on Vanguard currently, and this is the setup for it. Pretty much just pure headshot damage. If you want to take magazine capacity, or excuse me, ammo reserves, you can, but I just take Terminus damage because sometimes a Neurothrope just needs to die, and the little 10% bonus will help. As for our melee weapon on this build, we do take the Artificer Blockchain Sword, mainly because it has a speed stat of 6, and whatever damage you're losing out on from the 11 strength here, it makes up for with this speed stat, even compared to the Relic Tier block version. And really, the only thing that this version is better at is boss killing, and this class really already sucks at boss killing, and half the time in Siege mode, especially versus the triple boss spawns, you will simply be unable to melee them in the first place, and this one is also god tier for triggering our perk, the weapon perk, Swift Recovery. Heavy attacks restore 100% more contested health. This, in conjunction with our starting perk of 50% increased CHP regen, is incredible. My Norse packs, even a lot of the Majoras, simply lack the damage to actually kill you, and you can pretty much just swing into their face over and over with your bash, especially with the full throttle skip, and never die. God tier perk, god tier weapon. Artificer Block is just the best weapon on this class, really the best chain sword in the game. Fencing on this class is not super good to begin with because we already have a ton of armor drip fed to us, and our CHP regen is so high with our starting perk that the block weapon here with speed, you can pretty much just slam into enemies and you'll be totally fine. The CHP on this class is incredible. And for our perk tree, we start off with the upper hand. After a perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. I say it all the time, no knockback in this game is god tier, prevents you from getting outright stun locked in one shot, so pretty much always take this. Next perk here is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. In the later waves of Siege mode, you will outright get one shot eventually, so this prevents that from happening a little bit longer, so I pretty much always take this perk. You could also take Close Combat Focus because, let's be real, 90% of one shots at that later siege wave are going to be from like a Rubric Marine or something, so 20% less range damage, pretty good. And this has like no requirement, but this one does proc for both melee and ranged, and this perk up here does nothing for you if you know like the parry timings in this game. Now the next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores equipment charge by 1. Cooldown is 90 seconds. Now equipment recharge in this game is incredible because Melta Bomb spam is kind of OP right now, especially in the siege mode. It lets you blow up Terminators, lets you blow up even the bosses at times, and really this perk is just incredible for that reason. You take it on everyone you can, let's say you have a better option, and that's why we take it here. Next perk is one of the best team perks in the whole game, Unmatched Zeal. Melee finishers of Extremis or Terminus level enemies additionally restore health by 30% for any squad member. God tier stuff. Incredible perk here, and really the Unmatched Zeal is going to be taken by like 99% of players on this class. People are taking this class purely for this perk. I understand why. Like, it's just super forgiving, super great for any team comp, and if you are playing with like really good players, you could take Inner Fire, but still Unmatched Zeal just like saves you points at times. It also helps you heal when you're using like Zone of Impact, and this perk tends to bug you out with like Tactical Prowess and stuff, so I just take this anyways. It just makes the game easier, and I'm lazy sometimes, so overall god tier perk. That's what we use for this build. Next perk is Shockwave. Diving Kick additionally deals damage in a 5-meter radius. This one will just clear out Bramble and our Grapnel. Not like a super amazing perk, but all these perks in this like tree right here kind of suck anyways. This is why we take this one. Next perk up here is actually quite good. Zone of Impact. Performing a finisher with the Grapnel launcher deals damage to nearby enemies. It's funny, this is actually your best boss damage on this class overall, besides like Melta Bomb spam and things like that, mainly because Zone of Impact can be looped around bosses and looped around like whole Extremis packs, especially later with Tactical Prowess, and you just wipe out whole packs of enemies that way. Amazing ward control. And then the perk here, Thrill of the Fight. After a perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge, you take 20% less health damage for 5 seconds. Same as I said before with the Conviction perk. This will prevent you from getting one shot later in the game, so that's very important. That's why we take it here. These other two perks aren't very good to begin with. Now, our signature perk, Tactical Prowess. Grapnel Launcher can activate a finisher not only on incapacitated enemies, but also on those who have less than 33% health, except Terminus level, and performing a finisher with the Grapnel Launcher restores its charge. This is pretty much a mandatory pick with Zone of Impact to get like the full benefit out of it, and Zone of Impact is so important for like later waves in Siege mode that you kind of have to take Tactical Prowess if you want to get like really high up in the waves. And overall, Adrenaline Rush kind of sucks now compared to like this perk here in the Siege mode. Like, very little is this actually ever gonna be procking that. Excuse me, it's gonna proc. Okay, it's gonna proc. It's just not as good as this one, not even close. If you want to take both, you can. This one just should be enough, especially in the siege mode, because siege mode has so many damn Extremis. And as far as our prestige perks go, we take Battlefield Awareness for more range damage at close range, pretty self-explanatory. And then we go down into Launch Restoration and Restoration, because these both give you drip-fed armor, and for all the reasons I stated before, drip-fed armor is amazing. And honestly, this class gets a ton of armor regen, even though he only has 2 armor available at any given time, or let's just say maximum at any given time. And overall, it is just pretty hilarious that this perk has more armor, this class has more armor regeneration than the Assault class does, because the Assault class sucks donkey ass in this game right now. I'm sorry, I'll rant about you later, but today we're talking about the Vanguard prestige perks. I digress. So Fortitude perk here, health increases by 15%. This is just a god tier perk. You know, health is super valuable. I talk about it all the time. If you're watching my other videos, I mentioned it there, but in case you haven't, I'll say that the way health works in Space Marine 2 is that the lower your HP gets, the higher your damage resist gets, and that is why when a sniper shoots you at full HP, it takes off like 70% of your life, but when you're at like 30%, you don't get one shot, your damage resist goes up, and your effective HP is that much greater if your like baseline HP is higher. Alright guys, here we are on wave 15 with the Melta build. Now Melta performs even better against Tyranids and Chaos. And we are going to fight a triple boss spawn, preferably triple Karn effects. I do prefer that over Neurotropes. Unless there's like a teammate that's stacked the Stalker Bolt Rifle on them. But overall, should go swimmingly. We will buy bots here, at least a tactical bot. That's what I purchased. Gives you a plus 20% range boost. And also, the Astartes reinforcement bots are like absolutely S tier in this game. Totally busted. Do tremendous damage. Grab him. Grab those 4 mines. Or drop a Melta bomb here. Alright, triple boss spawn should be here in a second.
We have reports of a command presence on the battlefield.
Alright, there we go.
You may be in for a challenging fight.
Oh, we got caught by that.
In the Emperor's name, we shall
Our triple Karn effect, that's good for us. Take that. There have the ammo here that I put down. Once we grab these elixirs, it'll be very easy. So basically, you just kind of gotta, you know, they can follow you. Alright, he's trying to use artillery, so we'll just get our CHP back this way. Oh, free damage. Now, the Melta Rifle's boss damage is not incredible, but it's not 0. But this is our best damage here. Alright, perfect. That chunks him pretty well.
let the stronger friends overwhelm us.
I like this here. We get the headshot damage on him. It should be pretty easy. I'm gonna mark this one as a low HP one. Alright, this guy's AI is bugging out, but not such bad. Got walked from that. There's the Spanish bug that was introduced in this patch where the Marines will occasionally speak in Spanish. I don't really know how the fuck that happened, but that has been an issue in patch 8. Alright, I'm gonna get by the artillery there, we'll be fine. Let me take this in here. Don't let the Tremis here by us. Alright, which one are you? That's the highest HP one, so I'm gonna kill this one. Oh, that's pretty bad. Yeah, the artillery here. He should be dead in a second, though.
Maximize efficiency by attacking the strongest foes.
There we go, that was close, but all works out in the end. See, Melta can still perform pretty well against these guys. Not as good as the Bolt Carbine, but nothing really is. It's the best weapon on this class currently. Shot damage on him. Look at that. Chunk him.
Priority targets remain active. I see a zombie.
Out of here. I'll get an armor back if I can here.
Melta arm. Stay dead, buddy. We must stop the mine.
So move this way.
Destroy the most serious threat, and the rest will follow.
These spore mines that you're hitting right as low.
Into the fray.
They are basically out of ammo, so we could buy some right here. Fortunately, we were pulled into an execute.
Cleanse the rest.
Rolling card effects isn't very hard at all in this game.
Destroy the most serious
But they
threat,
just shot
and
grenades.
the rest will follow.
By the way, ammo, it's easier to go and get rid of these spore mines that way. Get some of them. I'm gonna walk over to the ammo crate though. That's fun.
Shoot the spore mines.
You grab my stims I put down earlier.
Bring down their strongest enemies first.
Let's look over there and finish him off. My teammate doesn't. God, do I get a grapnel in there? I might have to take the armor from him there, but if you get the terminus kill, it should give him back armor. At least it does in operations.
Let us murder it. Excellent. The major threat has been wiped out.
Alright, that's all for the bosses. Vector up these guys. I'll grab him if I can. Perfect. I gotta finish up the biovores. Now, biovores are kind of overtuned in this game, a little bit. They have a pretty tremendous impact even with the spore mine debuff, with a 55% reduced damage they gave them this patch. Alright, glitched on me there. Let's grab this. And that's pretty much a wrap. So, alright guys, that was wave 15, or 99% of it. So hopefully this build guide helped. I know the Melta rifle is very popular in this game, and I haven't used it too much in the siege mode, but it definitely performs well. If you like content like this, subscribe for more. Peace.